Joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show is the Super Bowl MVP himself of the team, Joe Flacco. How are you, Joe?
How you doing, Rich? Good.
I am hanging in there. What are your thoughts as you're heading to Cincinnati? This is a huge game for you and your team, would you not say?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. This is a big-time game, and, you know, it always is with these guys. And they got the better of us in week one, and now we're going into their place, and it's going to be a big one.
What's your biggest challenge, you think, heading into the jungle this weekend?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of them, but I think the biggest thing is just to go in there and play our game and play our tempo and not let those guys, not let their crowd and their environment get the best of us, just like it always is on the road. But these guys got a good defense, and they get after the quarterback. They stop the run game. They got good secondary. They're really good all around, and they do a lot of things to get after you. So. Just like always, the biggest challenge is going against these guys is just the players that they have and how tough they make it for you.
Well, you know, all of us here in the media, we always look for trying to peg people with an identity. You just said play our game. What would you say is your game, the Baltimore Ravens game?
Well, I just think we have to dictate the tempo. We have to get up there, and we have to play with speed and, create a snap count that allows us to do that. We got to be physical, and, we just got to play consistent and methodically move down the field. I think we just got to be where we are. But the biggest thing is it all starts with our physicality and the tempo that we set.
How much of a difference, or let's put it this way, what differences, because they're obvious, but I'd love to hear it from you, has Steve Smith Sr. brought to this offense and this team?
Hey, I mean, obviously he's a really explosive player and, can create, if you play one-on-one, he's an awesome matchup, and he knows how to get the ball and get yardage with the catch. I think he's opened the middle of the field up for us because teams have to pay attention to him. I think he's allowed Torrey to get more one-on-one coverage, and we're going to be able to take advantage of that more and more as the season goes on. So I think it's obvious what he's done. You can see the stats that he's put up and the catches that he's had for us. But I think he also opens up a lot more opportunities for other people on our team.
Yeah, we also saw last week one of the Falcons, one of the young players, number 21. What's his name? Law? Do you remember? Yeah, Marcus Trufant. Oh, Desmond Trufant went right in his grill, started yapping at him, and I'm sitting at home thinking that is the last thing you want to do with Steve Smith Sr.
Yeah, hey, that's part of Steve's game. He enjoys it and he gets fired up. It's just kind of what happens when he's out there and he's in the moment and playing well. He's usually at his best when he's fired up and when he's getting into it. And sometimes it's just the nature of the beast, man. You get in little tussles here and there. And, I definitely wouldn't like to be on the other side of it.
That's right. And he's now calling the entire NFC South soft. I mean,
I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
but, I believe it.
That's right. Well, yeah, I always follow what Steve Smith says. Now, obviously, you got a big one with Cincinnati. You take it one at a time, but you got one on Sunday night at Pittsburgh the week after. Are you watching the Monday night game last night, scouting a little bit? You doing stuff like that?
You're always curious. I mean, I didn't turn the game on until there was like the crazy couple minutes left in the second quarter, and I got home and I saw three touchdowns like that, boom, 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 and that kind of ended up being the game right there. So it was a pretty crazy turn of events in that game, and that's what can happen up in that place. They've been doing it for a lot of years there. They play very good football there, and when momentum gets on their side, they really turn it in and turn it into big plays and capitalize big time, and that's what happened last night.
Now, obviously, when you win games, controversies and discussions of such go away, but there's no disputing what you and your teammates went through with the Ray Rice suspension and all the national news media, not sports, but news media being around your locker room, and now you're 5-2. How were you able to weather all of that and keep your head down and play football, Joe?
Well, I think at the end of the day, going out there and playing football is the one place that you can kind of get away from it. It allows you to just take a time out for a few hours and go play the game that you love. And I think that, athletes in general are pretty good at kind of compartmentalizing everything and putting everything aside and going out there and executing their task. And, we have a good locker room, and we have a lot of guys that understand all that stuff, and we've just been able to go out there and play. I don't know if I can explain it that great, but like I said, I think as athletes we're kind of used to doing that stuff, and 3 hours on the football field is a time to ourselves where we can just go out there and focus on that one thing and not worry about anything else.
Joe, we talk about pocket passers. You're obviously one of those in this league as opposed to other guys who get out of the pocket. You are more of a throwback than other quarterbacks in this league, and we see somebody like Peyton Manning now have 510 career touchdowns. I'd love to know your thoughts when you hear that number 510 at your young stage of your career, Joe.
It's incredible, man. I mean, shoot, I've been watching him throw those for a long time now, and hey, man, anytime you get to that number, it says a lot of things, but really it's pretty incredible what he's been able to do, and the fact that he's still playing at a high level, and that number is going to just keep climbing is pretty crazy to think about.
Did you ever get a passing academy? Did you ever go to one of his passing academies, Joe?
No, I did not. No.
What's up with that? What happened?
I don't know, man.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, because maybe that's the whole Delaware thing. Do you think that's what it is, Joe?
Maybe, those Delaware guys, we're always getting the short end, I guess.
You blew ends. I know. Last question for you, how has your life changed last couple of years, winning the Super Bowl, getting the contract, getting married? What's it been like for you?
That's such a tough question. Honestly, it hasn't changed too much on the football end of it and all that. Winning the Super Bowl is an awesome thing, and obviously it's created a lot of opportunities, and it's also probably taking a lot of distractions away, week to week for certain things. But I mean, I got a ton of other things I'm worried about. I got 2 kids at home, another one on the way. I mean,
no kidding. How old are they?
My life has changed. Man.
How old are they?
I got a 2-year-old, a 1-year-old, and
Joe,
one on the way. So
Joe,
I go home. I go home now, and I got 2 little dudes running up to me and dealing with who knows what. So, when you have that, man, it really keeps you grounded, and you really understand what's important. So that's been the biggest change in the last couple of years.
I would say so. Are you? I know you want to compete with Phillip Rivers on the field, but I mean,
yeah,
Phil's got
I'm
7.
all about competing with him off the field and that too. My wife might have something to say about that.
Yeah. Wow.
Pretty soon, but hey, I'm from a big family myself, and couldn't see myself without a few kids, so it's been a lot of fun.
Joe, congratulations then on all that is happening with you, and we look forward to chatting more down the road.
All right, Rich.
You bet. That's Joe Flacco joining me here on The Rich Eisen Show.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern, on Audience.